जय जीव गोस्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा, जीव गोस्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा, जय जीव गोस्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा। आवाज बड़ा भाई। ओम श्रीला प्रभुपादा, जय जीव गोस्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा, जीव गोस्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा। स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा, शिव स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपादा। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। कृष्ण प्रेममयी राधा, राधा प्रेममयो हरि। 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 जीवने न धने नित्यम्, राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम। 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 कृष्णस्य द्रविणं राधा, राधाया द्रविणं हरि। 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 जीवने न धने नित्यम्, राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम। 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 कृष्णमयी राधा, राधा द्रवमयो हरि। कृष्ण द्रवमयी राधा, राधा द्रवमयो। कृष्ण द्रवमयी राधा, राधा द्रवमयो। जीवने न धने नित्यम्, राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम। जीवने न धने, जीवने न धने नित्यम्, राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम। कृष्ण गेहे स्थिता राधा, राधा गेहे स्थितो हरि। कृष्ण गेहे स्थितो राधा, राधा गेहे स्थितो हरि। जीवनेन धनेन नित्यं राधा कृष्ण गते मम जीवने। जीवनेन धनेन नित्यं राधा कृष्ण गते मम। कृष्ण चित्त स्थिता राधा, राधा चित्त स्थितो हरि। कृष्ण चित्त स्थिता राधा, कृष्ण चित्त स्थिता राधा, राधा चित्त स्थितो हरि। जीवनेन धनेन नित्यं राधा कृष्ण गते मम। 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 नीलांबरधरा राधा, पीतांबरधरो हरि। नीलांबरधरा राधा, पीतांबरधरो हरि। नीलांबरधरा राधा, पीतांबरधरो हरि। नीलांबरधरा राधा, पीतांबरधरो हरि। जीवनेन धनेन नित्यं राधा कृष्ण गते मम। 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 वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा, कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वरा। वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा, कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वरा। वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा, कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वरा। वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा, कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वरा। जीवनेन धनेन नित्यं राधा कृष्ण गते मम। 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 कृष्ण प्रेममयी राधा, राधा प्रेममयो हरि। कृष्ण प्रेममयी राधा, राधा प्रेममयो हरि कृष्ण प्रेममयी राधा राधा प्रेममयो हरि कृष्ण प्रेममयी राधा राधा प्रेममयो हरि जीवनेन धने नित्यम् राधा कृष्ण गते मम जीवनेन धने नित्यम् राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम जीवनेन धने नित्यम् राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम जीवने धने नित्यम् राधा कृष्ण गतिर्मम 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 राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे हरि बोल 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 जय गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद
कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन जमुना तीर बनसारी जमुना तीर बनसारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर बनसारी यमुना तीर बनसारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी Jai Anuspatam Sabridhajaracha Suttara Small Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Bhagavati Jai Anta Kori Vaishnava Ki Jai Navacharya Srila Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sita Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prem Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gauru Bhakti Jai Sri Radha Krishna Bhog Bhavna Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai नवदीप धाम की जाए गंगा माई की जाए जमुना माई की जाए गुरु द्वारका धाम की जाए स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जाए और ग्लोरी टू गोस्वामी और ग्लोरी टू गोस्वामी थैंक यू वेरी मच
श्रीला प्रभुपाद की वृंददेव तुलसी महारानी की कंतराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text number 1. Suta Uvacha Atha Tam Sukam Asinaha Atatam Sukam Asinaha Atatam Sukam Asinaha Upasinam Bruhat Shravaha Upasinam Bruhat Shravaha Upasinam Bruhat Shravaha Devarshihi Praha Viprarshim Devarshihi Praha Viprarshim Devarshihi Praha Viprarshim Veena Pranihi Smayan Iva Veena Pranihi Swayam Niva Veena Pranihi Smayan Niva Suta Uvacha Atatam Sukamasina Upasinam Buhatravaha Devarshihi Praha Viprarshim Veena Pranihi Smayan Niva. Sutaha Suta Vacha said Ata therefore Tam, him. Sukham asinaha, comfortably seated. Upasinam, onto one sitting nearby. Brihat Shavaha, greatly respected. Devarshihi, the great Rishi among the gods. Praha, said. Viprarshim, onto the Rishi among the Brahmanas. Veena Panihi, one who carries a veena in his hand. Smayan Iva, apparently smiling. Translation on purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Suta Goswami said, thus the sage amongst the gods, Narada, comfortably seated and apparently smiling, addressed the Rishi amongst the Brahmanas, Vyasadeva. Please repeat. Suta Goswami said, thus the sage amongst the gods, Narada, comfortably seated and apparently smiling, addressed the Rishi amongst the Brahmanas, Vyasadeva. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Narada was smiling because he well knew the great sage Vedavyasa and the cause of his disappointment. As he will explain gradually, Vyasadeva's disappointment was due to insufficiency in presenting the signs of devotional service. Narada knew the defect and it was confirmed by the position of Vyasa. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, fifth chapter, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on May 23rd, 1969, at the New Vrindavan Farm Community.
Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshu Vinidam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtyam Sthapitam Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Mrikavhanu Sute Devi Pranavami Haripriye Mancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebha Vaishnavibha Namo Namo. We shall speak something about the compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam by Vyasdev known as Vedavyas. Vedavyas because he has compiled all the Vedic literatures. Wonderful education. There are millions of verses in the Puranas, Mahabharata, in Srimad Bhagavatam. Only Srimad Bhagavatam contains 18,000 verses. Mahabharata contains about more than 100,000 of verses. Similarly, there are other Puranas besides that, Upanishads. He is the editor and compiler of all the Vedic knowledge in Sutra. Sutra means codes. So, people may take advantage, just like there are business codes, Bentley's codes, Henry's codes. So, one or two words will give impression of volumes of knowledge. Businessmen, they delay to save the expenditure on wearing or telegraphing, just like CIF. Accept your offering, CIF. CIF means cost including freight. That means goods will be delivered at your door. So similarly, there are many codes in business matter. In military arts, there are so many codes. So Vedanta Sutra means codes of all Vedic knowledge. Sutra means codes. And just like Atha Brahma Jigyasa, Atha. Now, Atha, after this, Brahma, the supreme, absolute truth, Jigyasa, one should inquire. Now, you can explain in volumes of books, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. So there are different commentators. They have explained when Brahma Jigyasa should begin, when one should be prepared to inquire about the Supreme. Somebody says, after Karmakandya, after finishing all these sense gratificatory processes, or after this, because the word is atha, now here enough. Therefore, that's ataha. This word is very significant, ataha. Why therefore? Especially in your America, you are all American boys and girls, you should take note of this ataha, therefore. What is that therefore? Therefore means that you have enjoyed your material life as luxuriantly as possible, but you are confused. You are not happy. You have produced peace, frustration. Therefore, you can take this word, therefore, because we have failed, the Americans have failed to achieve the highest pleasure of life, even by arranging all kinds of material facilities. Therefore, they should be eager to understand. At least they should inquire what is the cause. Don't bother about that here. So, Brahma Jigyasa. This Brahma Jigyasa is answered immediately in the Vedanta Sutra. What is Brahma? Or what is the greatest? Say, greatest happiness. Now you have enjoyed material happiness, but you are not satisfied, you are confused. Then you should inquire, what is greatest happiness? So these codes are so important thing, Vedanta Sutra. You can explain therefore in so many ways, according to your knowledge. But scientifically, this therefore means you are trying to find out the original source of everything. We are trying to find out what is the original source of this cosmic manifestation. Why we are hankering after happiness. Why we are confused. So many things. What is the original source? But the original source is replied immediately in the next sutra, next quote. Janmadasya jataha. The original source, either of happiness or of distress, everything, original source is that simply is giving original Janmadasya jataha, where from everything emanates. Distress also emanates and happiness also emanates. These cosmic manifestations also emanates. The supply also emanates. Everything emanates. The Supreme Source. Now you can explain. Everything emanates. How is that? Distress also emanates and happiness also emanates. Knowledge also emanates. Ignorance also emanates. Yes. That is fullness. That is fullness. This is how that original source is for everything. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad also. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Aham sarvasya prabhava, I am the source of everything. I am the source of happiness, I am the source of distress, I am the source of all this Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, everything. Matta parataro nasti. There is no more supreme source than me. Then why these two things, duality, distress and happiness, that is also answered in the Bhagavad Gita. You will find Sarvasya chahang hridi sannivishya matta smriti jnana apohanancha. I am sitting in everyone's heart, and from me there is memorization and forgetfulness. Why you are disturbing? Sit down. Here, try to hear. So, matta smriti jnana apohanancha. One forgets and also one remembers. Remembrance and forgetfulness. So, why one remembers Krishna consciousness and why one forgets Krishna consciousness? Actually, my constitution position is, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, that Jiver Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. Actually, the constitutional position of the living entities are that he is eternally servant of God. That is his position. He is meant for that purpose. But he forgets. That forgetfulness is also Janmadasya Jata, the Supreme. Why? Because he wanted to forget. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhogavansha kare pasete mayatare japutiya dhare. Just like sometimes we imitate somebody, I think he is very much enjoying. So I also think, why not? I enjoy like him. This is natural. We have got independence to think like that. Similarly, when the living entities whose business is to serve Krishna, when he wants to become Krishna, when he wants to become God, although he is dog, still when he wants to imitate, he is immediately put into the clutches of Maya. All that you enjoy. Try yourself to become God. So this is material world, means everyone is trying to become God. I am trying to become God, you are trying to become God. So there is competition between gods. He has forgotten that he is dog, but he is trying to become God. Especially in these days, especially in our India, Bengal, there's so many gods incarnation. Rascal. So many. As if God is so cheap thing that anyone can become God. So God has given us the chance all life to try to become God. He's trying to become God and more. This is asuric. Just like Hiranyakashipu. As soon as his little child would say, Krishna, Narayan, he would immediately become angry. Oh, who is this Narayan? Oh, he's God. Just like this child. He's me. I am God. Who is God? You are trying to respect some other God. So this philosophy is there always, and now it is very prominent that everyone wants to become God. So many Swamis, they come to your country and they say, oh, you are God, I am God, this God, that God. So this is going on. And in the lower stage, they are grossly under the impression that I am this body, I am this mind, or I am this intelligence, and later on, I am God, and so many things. So this Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Supreme from where everything is emanating. Janmadasya jataha. From the very beginning. Janmadasya jataha. Annayat itaratascha arthishu avijñā sarat. Very nicely. You have read our explanation, English explanation in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is that Supreme? That Supreme, Janmadasya jataha, that Supreme is avijñā. He knows everything. But these so-called cheap gods, do they know everything? He does not know even what is going to happen the next moment. Just like I heard there was a god, Meher Baba, here came. And he did not know that he is going to meet with some motor accident. And still he claimed that he is God. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is the right explanation of the philosophy. What is the original source of everything? That is the beginning, Janmadasya. Therefore, it is called Bhāsang Brahma Sutra. Ayam Grantham, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the right commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So how this Vedanta Sutra commentary was originally written by the author himself is explained in the 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto. We try to understand. So the cause was that after compiling all this Vedic literature up to the end, Vedanta Sutra, Vasudev was not satisfied. Vasudev was still morose. And so Narad Muni, his spiritual master, he could understand that Vasudev is seeking something. Why? I am morose. I've tried to give knowledge to the people as far as possible, as far as I am known from reliable sources. So I am not satisfied. At that time, Narad came to him, and as they received him, as it is the duty of the disciple to give good reception to the spiritual master, and when he was seated nicely, it is said, Atatang sukhumasinam upasinam brihachava devarsi praha viprarsing binapani smayanniva. The devarsi, when he was comfortably seated, with his hand, in his hand, that binapani. Binapani is called Saraswati. Bina means that string instrument which is carried by Narad and also Saraswati, the goddess of learning. The Saraswati students, they worship Saraswati for getting learning, material knowledge. And we Vaishnavas, we also, he is also Saraswati, Narad is also Saraswati. My spiritual master was known as Saraswati, Siddhanta Saraswati. Saraswati is the knowledge. So there are two kinds of knowledge, avidya and vidya. Real vidya means Brahma vidya, this Brahma jignasa, adhata Brahma, that is vidya, that is real knowledge. And avidya, karma sangha, another vidya is how to learn technology, avidya. Avidya, there is avidya. Avidya, karma sangha, anya, titya, shaktirishyate. So now, at the present moment, the education is being given to the people how to work hard, karma sangha. That is not now, that is the system. Because everyone wants to enjoy senses as far as possible, so he has to work very hard. But in this Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find the instruction is by Rishabdev that this life is not meant for that, simply hard labor for sense gratification. If you work hard, you try to work hard for attaining Krishna consciousness. Then your life will be success. You have to work hard. If you want to enjoy senses, they are not very easily available. It is said that Ujjoginam Purusam Upaiti Lakshya, unless you become industrious, laborious, you cannot enjoy in this material world. So one has to work because his business is to become servant. Jive Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. So if he does not become servant of Krishna, then he will have to become servant of Maya. Just like same thing we are doing in this new Vrindavan or anywhere. The same thing, we are also cooking, we are also cleansing. So this is for Krishna. So even if we get tired by cleansing for Krishna, but that is an asset. Yes. And if we work the same thing for sense gratification, that is simply spoiling time. This is the technology of Krishna consciousness. That we can achieve the highest perfection of life by doing the same thing. Nirmande Krishna sambandhe jukta vairagam uchyate. So, Vyasdev, he also worked very hard, wrote so many books, unlimited, but he was not happy. So if you work for Maya, then you will never be happy. You will get tired and you will simply be confused. But if you work for Krishna, then you will be happy. Just like there are so many examples. Arjuna also, he remained a military man. He was in the beginning military man. And After hearing Bhagavad Gita, he remained a military man. But that military man was for Krishna. And in the beginning, he was a military man for acquiring some kingdom for sense gratification. So, our Krishna consciousness movement is simply to change the consciousness, to change the account. The activities may be the same, but when the account is changed, then you get the highest profit. So, when Vasudev was morose, so his spiritual master is addressing Vasudev as Parasajja Mahabhaga. Mahabhaga. Parasajja means Vasudev is the son of Parasar Muni, who was a great sage. His mother was Satyavati. Actually, Vasudev was born, his mother was a fisher girl. Fisher girl. In Bengali you call Meche. So, but because the father was very great, Parasar Muni, so there is no question of father and mother. Everyone comes in his own ability according to karma. Nobody is responsible for his birth. Everyone is responsible for his work. So Vasudev became a great personality, although he was a son of a fisher woman. Parasar, he is addressing, my dear son of Parasar, Mahabhaga. Mahabhaga means you are very fortunate. Bhaga means fortune. Bhagya. Mahabhaga. Parasarja Mahabhaga. Bhavatat Kochidatmana Paritushati. Do you think that you will be satisfied identifying yourself with this material body or mind? No, that is not possible. Paritashyati Shariro Atma Manasa Eva. Sharira Abhimani Atma. Atmana Tena Sarirena Kochit King Paritashyati. One who is, you have compiled so many books on this concept of life that the living entities are, some of them are considering that I am this body, and some of them are considering I am this mind, and some of them are considering I am in this intelligence, but he is none of them. He is above this. He is transcendent. Unless he comes to that position, there is no question of paritusha or satisfaction. So this is the first question. That, my dear Vasudev, you are so great, you are born of a great father, you are so learned, Mahabhaga, you are so fortunate, but still all your compilation of these books are based on the concept of this body and mind. Therefore, you cannot get happiness. Then he says, Jignasitang susampannam apite mahadadbhutam kritavan bharatang jastyam sarvartha pariviringitam. You have recently done, because Vasudev, after the battle of Kurukshetra, he wrote Bharata, this Mahabharata, history of India, or history of this planet, Mahabharata. So he says, the Kritavan Bharatang Jastang Sarvartha Parivinhitam. Sarvartha. Sarvartha Artha means, what are the arthas? Artha means interest. Interest. That there are 4 kinds of interest. We are interested in 4 things. If we are actually human being, a civilized being, then we should be interested with 4 things. What are those 4 things? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In human society, for at least peaceful living the human society must have religion, dharma. And artha means economic development. Good condition, economic condition, that is also required. Once the human society should be religious, they must have nice economics organization, and the karma, they must have also nice arrangement for sense gratification. The sense gratification is not denied. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And after that, when one is satisfied, when one is by religious procedure, he is satisfied in his economic development, in his satisfaction of senses, the next need is moksha. Moksha means liberation from material bondage. These are four arthas, chaturvarga, or purushartha. Purushartha. Purushartha means the interest of the living entity. But they are not final. They are not final. So Narad will give the hint. What is the final Purushartha? That final Purushartha is Srimad Bhagavatam. Not that. Even if we become liberated, if we merge into the existence of the Absolute, that is also not final. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll find in the beginning that dharma projita koitavatra. These four principles of our interest means dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Projita. They are thrown away from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the great commentator, I mean to say, Sridhar Swami, he says that dharma projita, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, atra mukhavisandhirapi parityakta. One should not aspire even for liberation. That is the position of the devotee. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, na dhanang, na janang, na sundaring, kavitang, bhajagadisa kama. These are dharma. Everyone wants money, everyone wants good wife, good family, good comfortable life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denies that I don't want all these things. Na dhanang, na janang, na sundari, kavitang, vajagadisa kama. Then that is, you should study very scrutinizingly, critically, and there is explanation of great, stalwart devotees. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 8 kinds of commentary, and Bhagavad Gita, they are authorized. They are not ordinary commentary. There are ordinary commentary, there may be many. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, there are 9 kinds of commentary. So, Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavad, they are themselves illuminated. Just like sunlight, there is no need of a lamp to see the sunlight. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, they are self-illuminated. Simply word to word, if you try to understand, then you'll get enlightenment. Still, there are acharyas who can help you. This Srimad Mahabharata, which is referred now by Narad Muni, Kritamana Bharatam Jastam Sarvartham Bharintam. He says, Jigyasitam Susampannapiti Mahadat. Jigyasitam. Because Vyasdev inquired from Narad, that is the duty of the disciple. Just like Rupa Goswami says, that how we can develop, we are explaining these things in our nectar of devotion. Adu Gudbasram, you must inquire, you must be inquisitive. So where from inquiry? You have to inquire from a guru, a spiritual master, who can actually give you right knowledge. And spiritual master means he is able to answer your question. So one should be very much inquisitive. Then what sort of inquisitiveness? You're asking the spiritual master, what is the rate of this article, just like businessmen can know. That is also explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that you should inquire. What is that inquiry? Tasmad gurum prapaddeta jigyasu. Jigyasu, inquire, inquisitive. What is that? What is that inquiry? Tasmad gurum prapaddeta jigyasum. Jigyasu sreya uttamam. One who is inquisitive to understand uttamam, beyond this darkness. Because anything you inquire about material things, that is darkness. Tamasima, jyotirgam, that is there uttamam. Tamam, tamam means darkness. Ut means udgatam. So every word has volumes of meanings. Udgatam, therefore sometimes right commentary required. So uttama means udgatam, tamam. Tamam means this material world. When one is inquisitive to understand about the spiritual life, then he should accept a spiritual master. Otherwise there is no need. A spiritual master is not a fashion that I should have a spiritual master. And people after fashion. No. One must be very much inquisitive to know. What about inquisitive? Uttamam, Sreya, Uttamam. What is the highest perfection of life? If one is actually inquisitive to understand about the highest perfection and stage of our life, then he should search after his spiritual master. That is the direction. So here Nada says that you, jigyasitam, you have inquired. You have inquired. And after inquiry, you have done also very nicely. Because Vasudev has written so many books, just like we are trying to write so many books. What is that book? That means whatever we have understood from our spiritual master. That's all. So one should be inquisitive, assimilate them, and susampanam. This is called Savanam Kirtana, Vishnu. The inquiry means Sravana. Inquire means to get the answer, that is hearing. And then assimilate, and then kirtanam, then distribute the knowledge to the world. That is the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Bharat Bhumite Manusya Janma Hailaja. Anyone who has taken birth in this holy land of India, Bharatvarsha, just see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives power to every Indian. Every Indian has got this opportunity because this land of religion, the land of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. But the rascal men, they are being taught, they throw away these books. You see. Such misfortunate condition is now in India. They are recommending wholesale cows litter in India to make this business. Unfortunately, we have to be governed by such rascals. So, the sooner the Indians give up their, now, so long, these nonsensical things are going on, it is better. It is better. So, jigyasitam. Narad says that he have inquired nicely. And you have written very nice books also. Jigyasitam susamman apiti bahut adbhutam. And your knowledge is wonderful. Everything, all credit is being given to Vasudev. Adbhutam. Jigyasitam cha brahma jattat sanatana. Not only ordinary things, not only a material knowledge, but you have inquired our Brahma, athata Brahma jigyasa. Sanatanam. The Brahma means that is eternal. And what is not Brahma, that is temporary. So Sanatana, you have inquired about Brahma, and you have understood, you have assimilated, you have compiled very wonderful book, Adbhutam, and the history, Bharatam, Mahabharatam, Sarvartha, Sarvartha Paribindhitam. In that Mahabharata, you are given all the information of these four principles of perfection, namely Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And this Bhagavad Gita is there in the Mahabharata, in the Bhishma Parva. So, Athapi Sochasi, Athapi, still you are morose. After doing all these things, you are still Athapi Sochasi, Atmanam Akitarthaiva. Prabhu. Now, here you see, we are teaching our disciples to address among themselves, Prabhu. This is not new thing. This is very old. Now Narad is addressing Vyasdev Prabhu, his disciple. His disciple is addressing Prabhu. So we should give respect. Just like we address Kirtanananda Maharaj. Although he is my disciple, but the respect should be given. Here, see, Narad is addressing Vyasdev Prabhu. My dear Prabhu, still you are lamenting, you have done so nice, wonderful things, and you have learned, you have asked about the transcendental subject matter, you have compiled so many nice books. Why? Why you are? Well, this question must be there. That's to apprehend that what is the reason. So, this is the question and answer of Vyasdev. It is very interesting. You have got already your book Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, 1st canto. They are very interesting. So I shall discuss. It is 10 now. Stop.